everybody, and welcome to the Leduc Real Estate Market Update for September 2024. So, as always, I want to share a bit of data with you on what's going on with the current real estate market when we look back at the past 90 days or so. Now, this video specifically is only going to be for single family homes. I know I say that a lot. I know I do not give condos a lot of love here in Leduc because, quite frankly, there aren't very many. However, I'm not going to ignore them. I am going to do condos in a separate video here in a couple of days. You'll see that coming up. So let's look at the numbers of what's going on over the past few months. And then as always, let's compare it to what was going on last year, because that gives us a really good idea of the direction that we're heading. So, and I got some notes here written down. So in the past 90 days, we've had 182 single family sales in Leduc. The average price is about $452,000. They're taking on average 36 days to sell. So the one thing kind of with the days on market, it's a little bit of a misleading stat. So 36 days on market, realistically, that means that on average, properties are getting an offer on them within about 2 to 3 weeks. And then there's usually a conditional period, and then it is sold. Now, something that's priced under 400 versus something that's priced over 500, those averages are going to be quite different. But as a whole, 36 days on the market. And right now we have 85 single family homes that are for sale in Leduc. Now, I mentioned this in just a text post the other day. That's actually about the highest we've seen all year, but relative to most years, it's still incredibly low. What's happened over the past month or so is that we've really seen a slowdown in, the number of sales. But that's normal for August. August usually is quite slow. In fact, if we're ever planning a family vacation, I always try and avoid July and go into August because I know that August is going to be slower than July in most years. Okay, so about 400, just over 450 grand for the average price of a house, single family house in Leduc. So how does that compare to last year? Well, in 2023, there were 181 sales, so one less than this year. So the number of sales has stayed basically the same. They were taking slightly longer to sell last year, 39 days versus 36. So that's not really anything to write home about either. The average price, though, was only $406,000 and change in this same time period in 2023. So that's an increase in price of just over 11%, which is about 7% higher than the national average right now. And just for fun, I thought I would look at 2022 just to see how far we've come in 2 years. So that, again, this same time period in 2022, average price of a home was only $391,000. So in the past 2 years, on average, prices have increased over 16%. So we continue to see a really strong seller's market in Leduc, meaning there are more people looking to buy homes than there are homes available to buy. The reasons for this are actually quite simple. We have mass immigration from other provinces. The projections for 2024 was about 82 people per day moving to the greater Edmonton area. So that includes the city of Edmonton and Leduc and Beaumont and Devon and St. Albert and Sherwood Park, et cetera, right? The kind of the greater metro area, 82 people per day moving there, mostly from BC and Ontario. I can tell you about a third of my buyer clients this year are from out of province, and that is significantly higher than that ever been before. So we have all these people moving here, and there's not enough houses to buy. Simple supply and demand rules, prices are going to increase. What's most interesting is we saw this increase over the past couple of years while interest rates were really going through the roof, right? And I've explained this in separate videos, but the really, really short version is it didn't really matter because the vast majority of people over the past 5 to 7 years really have been on 5-year or 3-year or 4-year fixed rate, meaning when all these interest rate increases happened, it didn't really affect that many people because most people were on fixed rates, unless you're me. But that's a story for another time. So interest rates are going up and prices were still going up. That's kind of uncommon, but that's the reason why, because nobody was on a variable rate, so it wasn't really affecting that many people. Again, I've explained this before. that will come to a head when all these, 41% of the country has to renew over the next 18 months or so. And so if interest rates come down to a reasonable level, by the time all these people have to renew, I think we're going to be just fine. If interest rates were still in the 6% range and you have a 2.99, so your interest rate has now doubled when you have to renew, there's going to be a lot of folks who have to sell their property and downsize so they can't afford the new payments. However, we're already seeing low 4% for 5-year fixed terms. And it sounds like that's going to come down at least 2 more times before the end of the year. Of course, who knows for sure, but it sounds like that's going to happen. So within the next year to 18 months, when all these people across the country have to renew and they're on a 2.79, 2.99, 3.12, and now they have to get a 3.89 to 4.25, it's still an increase in payments. It's not nothing, but in most cases, it's not going to be enough of a jump where there's going to be this mass influx of inventory hitting the market because people have to sell their homes. Okay, so I think prices are going to continue to rise throughout the remainder of 2024, and then we'll see what happens here in the new year. So there you go. That's what's going on with the Leduc real estate market. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, comment, whatever. I hope it was helpful. And if you have questions about your personal real estate situation, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thanks very much. Have a great day.